Hey, how you doing? Today I'm going to draw for you a front view skull. You know, with tattooing, we do tons of skulls all the time. So I'm going to draw kind of like a bikery looking skull. I'm going to figure out the center line here. Do the basic size of the skull. So I draw like an oval, and then I'll figure out like where the midline for the eyes would be. I'll draw some sunglass shapes here. This would be the top of the bridge of the nose. This would be the forehead here.
Is the camera going to pick up their conversation or the mic? Maybe it's better if they...
Hey guys, no talking. Okay, once I figure out the cheekbones, then I can get the front of the mouth. And then the teeth start receding back as it goes away from the front. So it's like the shape is almost like this. So the canine is like right on the edge of where it starts going back. Try to figure out where the chin's going to go here. This plane would be in shadow a little more, be a little shadow underneath the cheekbone. You know, sometimes it helps to draw with just shading first. That way you like to figure out like there's different planes of a skull. Somebody's calling me. So I like to sketch with shading because then I can really see the shapes that I'm doing It makes it easier to make corrections, like, okay, the skull should come out here a little bit. Trim a little off. If you do a lot of sketching, it's easy to, correct things, change them around. You can get it really corrected. If you only draw with lines, you can't really build it up as easily. This would be like where the forehead connects with the nose, but a little shadowing there. Can erase where you went too thick.
Did you always kind of have the ability to self-edit? Or
I think it's really good to be able to see, if you can picture something in your head, and then as you put it on paper, you kind of fine tune it, like you can't just draw it straight to doing something perfect. Sometimes it takes a minute to develop it, so you have to make corrections, you have to be able to make decisions about your design, like what could I do, what looks off. You have to really train your eye to see like what parts don't look right, and then you just you can constantly fine tune what you're doing.
do you feel like that's a natural gift, or you can be like taught that?
You can definitely, I think that some people, talent is just the ability to learn faster. I think if you put in a lot of work, you can become a better artist than somebody who has got talent just because they might be lazy. So that if you can work hard and figure out, just with a critical eye, eventually you're going to be able to draw better than somebody who's just got talent. I mean, obviously the best thing is if you have talent and you work hard, then that's the best scenario, but not everything comes easy to people. But the more that you work on something, the more you're going to figure it out. And then, you'll have certain breakthroughs. Like you could be drawing for skulls for a year, and then finally one day everything is just going to click. And then you'd be like, then it becomes like super easy for you from there on in. It's kind of crazy that you'll have like a really big jump in your progress pretty quickly if you really just keep pushing it. So I developed this drawing pretty far with the pencil. So when I ink it, I have not a lot of corrections that I have to make.
How far, were you in your career before everything kind of clicked?
There's times where I thought that I knew how to draw really well, and hopefully that'll still continue to happen, but I kept all my old sketchbooks, throughout the years, and I remember at certain points being like, oh God, I finally know how to do this. But if I were to look at those drawings at this point in my career, I'd be like, oh God, it's so bad. Where I thought I was really good, but I really wasn't. Yeah, I think that the more that you really start to learn, the more you realize that you're never going to really master something completely. I mean, if you think that you're probably pretty delusional. I mean, you can get really good at drawing something and you can know that you're good, but to think that you can't get any better, for me, I don't think that's ever going to happen. I know I'm always going to be able to get better if I keep pushing myself and trying to improve. I mean, that's what's really fun about, learning things, is pushing yourself to see how good you can get. And I've always been able to draw really fast because, I started tattooing in walk-in shops. So you had to develop a drawing really quickly to impress walk-in customers. So you start drawing, they're like, oh wow, this guy's a real artist, because a lot of tattoo artists, they didn't have any kind of art ability. It was just about doing flash. So there's nothing wrong with that to me, but if you're into tattooing and you want to make a living from it, you have to impress the people that are going to want to get tattooed by you, or you're just going to tattoo people that are just don't care, or they're not knowledgeable, or they just want to get tattooed by the place closest to their house, which is not what I was looking to do. I wanted to get people that wanted to get really cool stuff, and I could use my artistic ability in tattooing. So I'm not drawing this like I would draw a stencil, but this would be like the stage before I would do a final tracing. Like if this was going to be a tattoo, I was just going to do a plain skull, this would be my second to last stage where I would do a really fine, precise outline to copy. But I do I freehand skulls a lot, so. I mean, skulls are such a huge part of tattooing that I think everybody should, you know, I mean, I guess there's a lot of people that are getting all kinds of stuff nowadays, but I feel like the skull is never going to go away or lose popularity. I just can't imagine how it would. So I almost got it. Yeah, I think when you draw skulls and stuff, try to make it as three-dimensional as you can, even if you're not going to do it, you know, for your sketch, because then it helps you see exactly the shape it's going to be, and it's easier to correct mistakes.
Easier to draw straight on or 3/4?
I think drawing a straight-on skull is pretty hard compared. I usually do more of a 3/4 view skull, just because you can see the planes more. You know, the different angles of the face. When you're doing it front on, you don't see, it's not as easy to see that. So it takes a little bit, and the symmetry is not as easy. But I think, you know, it's a very confrontational pose, so it's very direct. It can be more powerful. So there's my front view skull. Hope you like it. I hope you learned a little something watching me draw that. And, you know, try it yourself. Send me in your drawings. I want to see, so I can give you some critiques. Help you out a little bit. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the skull class.